about your rave next. So your rant. What
All
spurred
right,
you this
so
week?
we talked about we've been hammering the HR 621. We've talked a little bit about HR 622, and in Utah specifically, there's this issue with the Bears National Monument in federal land, having the land
Bears
being
Ears or something like
designated
that?
Bears Ears. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah,
Yeah, so
having
weird.
the land be designated as it's federal land as opposed to private lands to be used for energy development. My point isn't the reason why we bring up the rant here is the rant. First off, the title of the article, and it's from a Salt Lake Tribune, sltrib.com. The title is "More Companies Are Pulling Out of the Outdoor Retailer Show" as a result of Utah trying to, if you will, repeal that law or action. I don't know what actually the legal term.
Yeah, what they're doing with the land.
Yeah.
Well, see, this is my first take on it, right? And I haven't read the article, and I'll probably go do that. But first of all, what does that prove? You know what I mean?
You mean Patagonia? Well,
Patagonia not coming to an outdoors. The only thing that's tied to Utah is the fact that it's in Utah. That they're having the show in Utah, right?
Yep.
What else ties it to it? I mean, you can actually, I guess you can take that back. You can actually sign up for a whole bunch of different hunts for pretty cheap. You can actually put in a lot of different, or put in for a lot of tags. But what does Utah have to do with that? You know, what is that?
Well,
It's not even.
Well, Utah.
To me, that's
Utah,
a weird jump.
Well, it's kind of it's an interesting thing. I mean, the list of companies pulling out because it's the outdoor retailer show. I think it takes place in July. It's in Utah.
So we're not talking about the one that's coming up.
No, it's coming up in July.
July,
not these ones coming up right now. This is the outdoor retailer.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a big expo in July, and the list of and it's in Utah. And there's some local economists say that the show contributes around $30 to $40 million to the
which
local
I believe
economy.
it's a pretty big show.
I mean I mean the list of companies that are pulling out: Patagonia, Arc'teryx, Polar Tech Fabrics, Power Practical, Medalist Climbing, which I've used their equipment for years, Kokopelli, Patcraft, and Bedrock Sandals.
All of them, huh?
There's a lot of them there. I just think that, and it's not this issue whether or not you agree or disagree with Bears Ears National Monument. That's not the point. That reason why I brought up for rant. The reason why I brought it up is I think that brands, they have to be cautious in how they are aligning their message, right? Their brand message with their products and with their audience, right? And if you align yourself, your brand with a demographic, that might be advantageous to you now. But if you want to further research or grow a product or
you may
or
alienate a whole other segment of the population.
Well, you're hindering your opportunity to grow your brand, to build more products, and to go after other demographics in the future. And I mean, if I was an investor, I don't know.
You know, I fully
territory.
I fully support, and I think it's a good idea. If I guess playing devil's advocate on one side, I think that it's cool that they can have that much force, right? If there's that much that it brings to the economy,
Yeah.
I guess on the devil's advocate side. But my own personal opinion is that a business entity, it doesn't have an opinion. It's not good. It's not bad. It's all in how it's used, but they're taking the position of a few people in the company and they're making these political statements. I don't care what the political their leaning is. To me, I don't know. It just seems like a business should be a business.
Yeah, well,
sell your product, right? It should be neutral territory.
It's a new phenomenon, though. I mean, it's happened before in the past, but it's a new phenomenon.
It seems like it's a lot more.
Brands are starting. They're engaging in what I call political warfare, and I use that term loosely here. And I don't know if what they're doing is a good thing. No, it doesn't. Because I know, just from friends I've talked to just recently, the last few days, they're like, I'm never buying Patagonia again. I don't necessarily agree with my buddies on the Bear Ears National Monument, because I mean, public land's public land. I like to keep it that way. Mm-hmm. But just I know people that are like, I'm done buying Patagonia. Screw it.
It seems like a knee-jerk reaction, right? And it seems from a business standpoint, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to do that, right?
What's
I don't know.
popular?
It's just because what's popular today may not be popular tomorrow.
And that's
what's popular with one group. It may alienate a whole another entire group of people that you may have had as future customers or customers that are currently. I don't know. It seems really weird. And a business is an entity that's sole purpose is to make money, right? It's to sell a product and to make money. And if they want to get involved personally on an item, if they want to get involved personally on something, great, do it. But it seems super weird to me to, I don't know, and I'm not the most business savvy person in the world, but now on the other hand, I will say that in certain instances, a business is required to take a standpoint, right?
Yeah.
Let's say, for instance, Jared Vogel, Subway.
Oh yeah.
Molesting little children.
Yeah.
It's not a political issue necessarily, but it's taking a stance against something, which is good because this guy was a representative of that company. That's where it takes a turn where, you start thinking, that's something like that's a little drastic, but if there's
it's just interesting how they approach the issue. I think of the NFL this year, the ratings were way down, and everyone blamed the general presidential election and not this mass movement of NFL players not standing for the pledge. But after the election, their numbers were still down, and even ongoing, the numbers were down year over year. So it's kind of like something was going on there. It's just really...
It's so weird because there's always going to be some issue, right? There's going to be some issue it's the issue du jour. Like, what is it today?
The Under Armour
Excuse me, Flo?
The CEO.
What's the issue du jour?
He
Under Armour guy?
Yeah, you know how the whole Bowman thing?
Yeah,
the Bowmar.
Mm-hmm.
They did that and freaked out, so they nixed him. Well, the CEO this past week came out in support of Trump, and he basically alienated some of his brands, like Steph Curry and these guys. He spoke out against the guy, and it's like, oh man, just keep your mouth shut.
Just do your business.
Just sell your product.
Exactly.
But the problem though, Matt, is people are expecting brands to do something, to say something. It's like this. Okay, I'm gonna. It's like I told you a couple of shows ago. BuzzFeed is now keeping a list of brands and companies that are supporting President Trump.
It's crazy.
What's
wrong with the business coming out and saying we respect everybody's right to believe the way they want to believe? Our business chooses to not get involved in this type of situation, and we're going to focus on making the best shoes, or we're going to focus on doing the best at whatever it is we're doing. Why do they have to take a stance?
Yeah.
Why is it required? It's a weird thing. That's a weird environment that we're in right now, where people think they have to do this. I think it's crazy. Yeah. And it just
some of them make more sense than others. Like Ducks
suicide.
Unlimited, that's like an organization. So I understand something like that. I understand to a certain degree. There's companies like, well, I gotta,
what's the goal of Ducks Unlimited, right? The goal of Ducks Unlimited is not necessarily to sell a product. It's to take a political standpoint. It's to get in front of these politicians and get in front of the people that make the decisions to be able to conserve and protect habitat and to protect a species or animals to different types of birds. Lots of different things. The Rocky Mountain Elk Nation, right? Same type of thing. Their purpose as an organization is a lot different than Under Armour or than Patagonia or these companies that are developing a product and selling it to people. Like you said about Michael Jordan, right? When you said a little while ago, Republicans buy shoes too. That's like this. That sums it up to me in a nutshell, right? It's Target shouldn't be getting in the bathrooms business. They're not in the bathrooms business. They should stay out of it.
And they came out strong on that.
They did, and it's created a whole...
And their stock dropped, for... There's other reasons why, but I think
a whole lot of problems.
If you spent more time and energy on, the big thing was the credit card. The guy everyone's credit card got hacked and just killed it. It was like, if you spend more time and energy focusing on, the important aspects of your business... Versus something that has no bearing.
Yep, exactly.
It probably affects less than 1% of your demographic. You're going to go public. And like I said, it's right now the popular thing with brands to do is to disavow President Trump. And it's like this
so weird.
Well, it's because it's being examined and it's being regarded as this heroic thing, and you're part of this rebel alliance.
It's
and
the issue du jour.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
In like 3 days, it's going to change into something else. It's going to be something else somebody's pissed off about.
And and I own a couple of brands, a couple of businesses. I would never in my life make a political statement on anything.
You
I try
yourself,
to stay out of it.
You can make your political statements all you want, but your entity that's your business that is so focused as to do X, Y, and Z should stay doing X, Y, and Z and not make the statement. It's a weird thing. Yeah. It's so weird.
The CEO of REI, Jerry Stritsky, I liked his comments in this article. He says, the outdoor retailer show plays a specific role in the outdoor community. It is the one time and place that we can come together across all elements of our industry. I believe it would be a mistake for us not to gather as an industry this July. Now, more than ever, we need to act together to advocate and find a common voice to protect our most important asset, our public lands. To be clear, so he kind of makes a great statement, and then he kind of couches it at the end here. I thought it was funny. To be clear, REI is strongly in the camp of moving, or if Utah persists in attacking our public lands, the sooner the better. So,
well, he just kind of stomped on his own point, and he was good until that last little bit. Because I was thinking about as you're reading that quote. I mean, why not use that for the good? How many people come to that expo? Right? Yeah. You probably have hundreds of thousands of people from all of the Western states, if not more, that come to this expo. And why not use that for good? If you have an issue that you feel strongly about, set up a booth that can tell people about the issue, inform people on the issue.
Or just give
Here's a petition,
pamphlet,
right?
Yeah.
Here's a petition, sign our petition, and this will help move this cause forward if you believe in it, right? Why not use that for good? Why pull out and lose your opportunity to reach your customers, not to get in front of them and to show that, we're still making great products. We're not just focusing on political crap, and also to move your cause forward, because you could get in front of a lot of people on neutral territory. They don't have to be dressed in Patagonia, polos, and say, I'm a Patagonia person. How can I help you? That tells the issue. It could just be some person at a booth saying, this is the issue. Here's a pamphlet. Let's educate you. Sign our petition. Because that's how things move. That you get in front of people that way. So
I just don't think they were smart.
It's crazy.
It's a really interesting phenomenon. It's something I think that's new. Not just, I think brands are making more statements. They're becoming political activists. But what's weird is that our generation, millennials, Gen X, Gen Y, it's almost as if they're expecting these brands to make a statement on everything. It's like, let's hunt down all the brands that didn't say something about the latest travel ban on Trump. And if you didn't make a statement on it, I'm going to keep a record of it.
Reminds me
and
of.
I'm going to call you out because you're not making a statement. You should say something.
Do you ever see South Park or The Simpsons? Right? Whenever there's an issue, it always seems like it's all this guy did this. Grab your pitchforks, and there's always this crowd of people that don't even think about what they're doing. That's exactly what it's like. They're just running to and fro, back and forth. Whatever the issue du jour is, they're gonna run over to that camp and they're gonna bark about this without even thinking about it, which is crazy.
It just seems like here's the thing though. So if you pull out, if you think logically and long term about the situation, Patagonia, let's pull out of Utah. Let's pull out of what is their goal? Their goal, and REI, the guy pegged it. He says we want to protect our most important asset, which is our public lands. If you pull out of the outdoor retail show, Utah loses all that money. You're going to hurt our local economy. You're going to piss off Utahns potentially. Mm-hmm. Are you going to protect public lands in Utah? Are you saying?
Seems like
are you giving up? It's counterintuitive. Yeah. Are you giving up on the state of Utah? Mm-hmm. If anything, like you said, no, nut it up. Go out there, fight the good fight. Fight about it logically. Mm-hmm. Have a civil debate.
Yeah, don't miss your opportunity
get in the same room. Because I'm sorry, I just don't think my personal political statement on this is, and this is not on behalf of OutieGuide, but I'm for public lands.
Absolutely.
I really am. I don't want to see these corporations come in here and do fracking, or I don't care if it's their own private land or whatever. I don't want them to go in there and do all the energy development. And I mean, that's like you said, it's public lands. It's the people's. You can go on it, and it's.
I've been in places like when I went to law school in Nebraska, and my third year was only year I got to actually hunt. But there is so little places, like space or public land to hunt in Nebraska, it's crazy.
Just
And
'cause
if you
they've
get
sold it
to it, you have to literally sleep overnight to be able to get a spot because there will be a bunch of different guys, tons of different guys on one spot, and you won't be
Yeah.
able to hunt there. So I don't remember what it was, but there was a ridiculously in the single digits percentage of public land in Nebraska. Most of it's private, and that's a direct result of what could happen if this
Yeah.
issue is
See,
not
and
watched.
if it's me, if I'm Patagonia, if I'm, some of these other brands, I'm thinking, hey, let's go in there. Let's give us some examples of where it's gone wrong and how it's hurt the public. It's hurt the recreational community, the outdoor community.
Yeah.
And, make it personal, but be smart about it. I think pulling out like
the knee-jerk
it seems like I'm taking my
reactions.
ball and I'm going to go.
Yeah, exactly. Think long term, right? Long term, you want to sell outdoor and sporting good gear, right? Hunting gear. You want to sell fishing gear, all this other whatever it is you're doing. Then if you don't actually go to those areas and get your message out,
Bingo.
then you're not going to have anywhere, and there's not going to be any land or anything for you to sell your gear for people to do.
Yeah.
You're damaging your own
So
business from multiple
why
angles.
run away from
It's
the problem?
crazy.
If anything, grow the outdoor retailer show in Utah.
Exactly.
Grow
Get the
that
word
base. Impose your brand and your message on people in terms of not necessarily this, but public lands.
There's ways to do it for sure.
Yeah, but just pull out of it. It's like, come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
It's crazy.
They have that right to do it, but they have the right to be idiots too.
It is exactly what you say though. It's like I'm mad.
Yeah.
They're not playing nice. I'm gonna leave.
Yep. You're free to choose your choice. You're free to choose, make your decisions. You're not free to choose the consequences.
Yeah.
I think it'll backfire.
Well, good. So